Hello, my name's Jeff and I love making tube amps. This amp here is a 7-watt guitar amp, all tube. It's got reverb and tremolo. It's a push-pull circuit. It's housed in this beautiful African mahogany cabinet that I built. The front is laser cut plywood. It's got a laser engraved control panel that I made and designed, and I think it turned out great. So I'm going to play a little bit and then I'll talk more about the circuit and how this amp was made. But I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you think is terrible, what you think I could have done better. I'm always looking to learn, so let me know what you think. So this amp came about as a little bit of a challenge to myself. I had this output transformer that's push-pull, but it was low watts, 7-8 watts. And I had a bunch of these oval speakers that are certainly not guitar speakers, but I wondered, could I make a circuit that sounded good as a guitar amp with this low-powered output transformer and these non-guitar guitar speakers? So this is what I came up with, and I think it sounds pretty good. The output tubes are 12A6 tubes, which you don't see that often. They're from the 40s, but they put out together in push-pull about 8 watts, which worked perfectly. I also wanted to try a Pentode preamp, which I had never done before, so this circuit used a 12SJ7 as the first tube. I also wanted to try out one of these Antec toroidal transformers as the power transformer. These are made for guitar amps, and they're quite a bit cheaper than comparable transformers from Hammond or some other place, so I figured I'd give it a shot and see what happens. I love the tremolo on this amp. It's deep, there's a wide range. It's pretty much the circuit from a Princeton Reverb, bias modulating tremolo on the output tubes, and it works great. There are 2 ranges, a faster and a slower range, so you can get anything from a super fast tremolo to a super slow. So even though this amp is only about 7 watts, it's pretty loud for home use, especially if someone else is in the next room. So there is a 2-step attenuation circuit built into it. So you can get either 7 watts, about 1 watt, maybe a little less, and then about 1/4 of a watt. It's just a simple L-pad circuit using a couple of resistors, but I've found in lower power amps like these, it works pretty well. Here's a little example of the relative volume levels between the 3 settings on the attenuation. This amp uses a transformerless reverb circuit, which I put into almost all my amps because I do not like an amp that doesn't have reverb. And this is the simplest reverb circuit that you can really do. There's no transformer. It uses one tube, a 12AT7, uses half of that tube to drive the circuit and the other half to recover it. And I think it sounds really good. So I really enjoyed the process of building this amp. Loved the challenge of trying to build something using tubes that really aren't the standard tubes these days in amps, but they work just fine, and I think it came out with a great sounding amp that looks really nice. So hopefully there's other people out there who like this style of amp as well. I'm sure there must be, but I know it's not for everybody. And again, I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you like and don't like about this amp and this style of amp, and anything you think I did wrong. I'd love to hear it. All right, thanks.